What's up, everybody? Welcome to Weight Loss Surgery Unfiltered. I wanted to make a very, very short update video to talk about my weight, whatever. But really, what I wanted to talk about was eating and how I used to eat and how that's changed, and really how I hadn't really thought about how I was eating until I couldn't eat that way anymore, even though I thought I had. Really quick on the stats, my heaviest was 350. Or so, probably heavier, but I stopped looking at 350. When I got my surgery, I was 320, and right now, and this is a week into this month. I had my surgery on March 2nd, so 2 months out, I'm about 45 pounds down. At exactly 2 months, it was about 40 pounds. So that's that. That's really. I'm very much of the you're not the number on the scale thing, so that doesn't mean a whole lot to me. But what has meant a lot to me is that I've had a lot of opportunity to think about what I was eating, because I can't eat that way anymore. And I kind of realized that when I was eating very poorly, I was at my worst. You know, I'd have 3 meals a day at fast food or getting pizza, just generally out. And I knew it wasn't good for me, and I knew all of that stuff. I didn't particularly care, but I knew it was delicious, and I knew I wanted a lot of it. But I didn't really think about what it was that I was eating. Even if somebody said, "Oh my God, you just had 4 cheeseburgers," that's only that's 4 is a low number. 4 is still a single digit, so I did pretty good. But I didn't think about the kind of macronutrients part of things. Now that I have to track everything that I eat and take care not to go over 60 carbohydrates according to my nutritionist, and stay within certain calories or try to hit certain calories. I have a very hard time hitting the amount of calories since my gastric sleeve surgery that I'm supposed to, which is at the very least 800. It's supposed to be 1,000. I have a hard time with that, but now that I'm tracking all of that stuff, I'm realizing what is in the food that I eat now, which got me thinking about what was in the food that I was eating back when I was eating really, really poorly, which granted was a couple of years ago. I wouldn't say that I was eating very well before this surgery, but a couple of years ago I was definitely at my worst, where I'd essentially given up on the idea that I would ever be healthy. So what I did yesterday, and I put it in the fridge so that I wouldn't be tempted to eat it, because cold fast food doesn't sound great. By the way, you probably just heard my dog. You might hear my daughter. You might hear my fiance. We're a busy house. I picked up 3 of the meals that I would eat at fast food places. I picked one up from McDonald's for breakfast. I picked one up from Taco Bell for lunch. And I picked one up from Wendy's at dinner. I really wanted to see what was actually in those things. So actually take them apart and say, okay, a double cheeseburger is 2 beef patties, at least 2 or 3 slices of cheese, a bun. Eating those 3 things, because now after weight loss surgery, you kind of eat that way. I had my first burger since surgery the other day, and I ate it. For dinner, I had about 40% of that burger, and then the next day for lunch, I just had a couple tomato slices, and in another sitting, I ate the rest of that burger. So now that I eat that way, I see food that way, and so I'm trying to break everything down. This is at my worst what I would order, and those orders were really, really big. I shared them for the first time with my fiance yesterday, and I'm pretty sure she threw up in her mouth a little bit. Don't judge me. This was honestly, has been, and probably throughout this video, recording this video will be kind of fairly difficult, because I'm not necessarily proud of the decisions I was making. I wasn't proud of them back then. Now knowing a little bit more about what was in those decisions that I was making, I'm less proud of them now. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, for breakfast, I've got like 3 McMuffins. So that is 3 English muffins, and then break it down that way. I'm going to zoom in on the plate. You're not going to see this lovely mug. Same thing for Taco Bell, same thing for Wendy's. I'm going to weigh out how much food it was, tell you how many calories was in it, how much fat, how much sodium, how many carbohydrates. add it up at the end of the day and tell you kind of what I was doing to myself. So that explains these 3 bags. I'm going to put everything out on a plate as horizontally as I can. So top half and the bottom half of a bun will be laid next to each other. 2 burgers will be laid next to each other. That's how this is going to work. Just to kind of visualize how much food was in these orders and is in, even if you just order one, say, burger, how much food that actually is. Because stacked vertically, it doesn't look like nearly as much as it does when it's spread out. So that explains the bags, the plates, the scale. What I did was I found this report from Michigan State University that said that in order to visualize kind of what you're eating fat-wise, 4 grams of fat would equal 1 teaspoon of Crisco or shortening or just fat in general. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for my body, but unfortunately for this video, I don't have Crisco or a big jar of fat hanging around. So what I did, and I think it'll be a little bit easier to visualize, every 4 grams of fat will be 1 teaspoon of this fruit punch type thing. And we will see what that looks like. I brought out 1 shot glass because I honestly don't know how many teaspoons, however many teaspoons is in a meal, what that looks like. So we're gonna find out together. My guess is I'm gonna need some more of these. Next, we'll actually zoom in on one of these meals, take it apart, spread it out, and talk about what's in them. All right, so first up is breakfast at McDonald's. This was not all that common, but if I was feeling particularly fat or depressed or just generally myself, I would pick this up on the way to work. It's delicious. So, first thing, can't ever miss hash brown. Nice and salty. Sausage McMuffin. Oh, this is so cold and gross. Ham, egg, and cheese McMuffin. Now normally the last one would be a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. Unfortunately, they don't sell that all day, and I wasn't going back this morning because I figure the more times I go through a fast food restaurant, the more likely I am to eat fast food restaurant food. So I got another sausage, egg, and cheese thing. So that's disgusting. Also, that's breakfast. Okay. Let's take it apart. I was eating 1 English muffin, an egg or 2, I don't know how many goes into a thing, a sausage patty, and I didn't say this, but extra cheese on that because, you know, why not? So 2 pieces of cheese. Same thing for this guy. Another English muffin. By the way, today I could, for breakfast, I might be able to eat a half of an English muffin. I don't know, I don't eat carbs anymore, but I haven't really tried, but that could be. Another egg, so 2 eggs so far, a couple English muffins, another sausage patty, and we're out of room on this plate. Another half of an English muffin, piece of Canadian bacon, or whatever McDonald's passes off as Canadian bacon, another egg, another half of that, and another piece of cheese. So, in that, we have 3 English muffins. I'm already, that's not cool. 3 English muffins. They do butter them. That's online. So 3 English muffins with butter. 3 eggs. 2 sausage patties. Each of these had extra cheese. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of cheese and a piece of Canadian bacon. And just to round it off, a hash brown. Next question is, how much does all that weigh? That's a really shitty question to ask because I'm going to get depressed. I'm not going to zoom in. You're just going to have to trust me on this one, guys. Zero it out with a plate on it first. And we're going to add all of this lovely stuff. Oh, also, if you want to comment that I am being wasteful and a typical shitty American, you're absolutely right. Go for it. Anyway, I don't feel too awfully bad throwing out what works out to 1.12 pounds of shitty, greasy, garbage food that really nobody should eat. So if you want to say I'm a terrible person, go for it. You wouldn't be the first. So that's breakfast. Now, what's in breakfast? I will read it to you. McDonald's breakfast. 2 sausage McMuffins, a ham, egg, and cheese McMuffin, and a hash brown is 1,390 calories. Next, let's talk about the amount of fat in this and visualize it the way I talked about. So, we've got some liquid goodness, and because I don't have a teaspoon measuring thing in the house, I've got a half teaspoon one, so we're gonna have to double this. So there are in this meal total of 81 grams of fat, which would work out to 20 teaspoons of fat if we wanted to kind of measure it out. I'm realizing even as I sit here that shot glass isn't enough, so give me a second. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do this 40 times. Okay, so if you can imagine that this right here is just a bunch of Crisco or butter or fat or just generally awful for you. That was just breakfast. Why do I even do this? If you're making these kinds of decisions, it's kind of a good idea to be able to visualize it in a different way. Am I judging anybody for ordering this way? Absolutely not. This stuff, it tastes good. If it didn't, nobody would order it. So you're doing this. Maybe your health at this point isn't as important to you as being able to eat this stuff. And that's a very difficult thing that I had to come to. That was a truth for me. Not necessarily going to be the truth for everybody, but just so you know, when you order something and it's kind of stacked vertically in a nice little package, imagine somebody handing you this for breakfast. You might think, holy shit, that looks delicious, and eat all of it, but you're also probably going to be a little bit self-conscious about what you were handed. Okay, moving on to lunch. If I die tomorrow, I hope heaven is a Taco Bell. Yeah, I know I ate shitty when I went there, but it tasted so good. My order at Taco Bell, 2 quesadillas, then Gordita Crunch is essentially a flatbread, and they put cheese on that flatbread, melt it, and then put that over a hard taco. And the sauce in it is awesome. I don't care if you're on a diet or not. That shit's delicious. Quesadilla. Oh god. Chicken quesadilla. Quesarito. It's a burrito wrapped in a burrito with a layer of cheese. Now you might be saying, holy shit, I want to go to Taco Bell now. And if you're going to Taco Bell anyway, yeah, I recommend this. This is delicious. So anyway, I'm not going to be able to take it apart. I kind of figured that would be the case. But so you get 2 tortilla shells. Whatever they pass off as steak at Taco Bell, you get a bunch of that, a whole shit ton of rice, and whatever sauce they put in there. So I'm just gonna scrape everything out of this tortilla. This is gonna be the messiest one, but also the most delicious. Tortilla, 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 tortilla. All the shit that was in the tortillas. 1, let's do it again. Fucking blast. 2, we already need 2 plates, so that's good. You're feeling really great right now. God bless the quesadilla, unless you have any pride whatsoever. Quesadilla is going to be pretty hard to take apart, but give me a second. Okay, so that is a quesadilla. And by the way, you are definitely now going to hear my daughter, because my fiance had the nerve on Mother's Day to enjoy a movie with her mother. So now I have the baby and the food baby. It's my first love, Gordita Crunch. So, like I said, it's like a flatbread thing, if you can call it flatbread. A bunch of shit, delicious sauce, hard taco shell, and a flatbread full of cheese and other shit. So, another plate, another shell. This is the quesadilla. These are the 2 tortillas. All right. So now, let's look at how much fat is in this meal. For the meal, this entire meal has 122 grams of fat, which, if broken down into teaspoons, is about 30 teaspoons. So in addition to having eaten all this, imagine you ordered it and somebody said, and if you could just wash it down with a half a glass of fat. All right, so you see everything that I ate. This was lunch, and if you're making these kinds of decisions, this is what you're eating for lunch. So let's weigh it. So this is almost 2 pounds of food. It's 1.9 pounds of food. And I was having that for lunch, again, with about a half a glass of pure fat. So the total stats for this, for lunch on a given day, so that's 2,300 calories. So that's 92% of the recommended for somebody who's 30 years old, my height and weight, and leading a sedentary lifestyle, which was what I was doing when I was eating this stuff. And you might be saying, what about soda? Never order a soda if you're fatty fat like me. Because then if the 16-year-old at the Taco Bell drive-thru says, "Is this all for you?" because you don't want that guy judging you, you could say, "No, I'm ordering it for my friends at work." So, oh God, never order a soda. You order one soda and all this stuff, you look really, really fat. Okay, so that's lunch. Moving on to the last meal. Now, I would go to Wendy's if it was like payday, because that's like the gourmet stuff, and that is the stuff that costs a lot of money. So, what do you order at Wendy's when you're fatty fat? You order a junior bacon cheeseburger, because you don't want to overeat after your 2,000 calorie lunch. Double stack, and then double baconator. With extra cheese, please. I'm gonna break this down into what you're actually eating side by side. And if you've had surgery, you kind of see food like this now. So we've got a half a bun. That's more carbs than I've eaten in a very long time. A couple pieces of bacon, mayonnaise and ketchup, a patty. I'm gonna move this stuff over here because God knows we're gonna need 2 plates. A couple more pieces of bacon, so that is 4 pieces of bacon. I'm assuming 4 pieces of cheese, another patty, and another half of a bun. I mean, there's no surprises here, so if you want to fast forward, I don't blame you. Another half a bun, another half a bun. Moving on to the next plate, pickles. Because, hey, vegetables. Hey, awesome. Patty, another patty. Oh, hey, lettuce. I remember lettuce. Another bun. Whole shit ton of mayonnaise on there. Another half a bun. Some more bacon. We'll put that over with this other big pile of bacon. So that is, what was it, 5 pieces of bacon. Some more lettuce. This is practically a salad. And another patty. Dinner. 3 rolls, 5 pieces of bacon, and 5 cheeseburgers, 6 pieces of cheese, mayonnaise, but I mean there's lettuce, so that's not that bad. Let's talk about fat content. Total fat content for this is 106 grams of fat, which is about 22 teaspoons of butter or Crisco, or in our case, this stuff. All right, so you just wash that meal down, wash all of that down with about that much in pure fat. Now, how much does it weigh? Oh, great question. Really glad you asked. This is not going to make me feel like shit about myself at all. 1.2 pounds. In a given day, I ate about 4 pounds of food, and then wonder why I was gaining weight. So I'm going to reset everything up, add up all the fat. I'm going to tell you exactly how much I was eating, how much over the daily recommended limit that was, and talk about what the hell all this means in the first place. Okay, so this is one of my worst days. Today and the days that I would eat this, but it had nothing to do with being depressed or anxious or anything. I liked eating like this. Now that I don't, it's kind of easy for me to sit in front of this stuff. Honestly, it's easier than I thought it was going to be. Yesterday, ordering the stuff wasn't a hell of a lot of fun because I realized how much money I was wasting at the time, and because this food tastes good. Anybody who tells you that it's some corporate conspiracy to make the food taste good so that you're addicted to it, no, you're not. It just tastes good. So what is actually in this? I broke it down. For those of you tracking your food, this will make a lot of sense to you. So total calories for this day, 4,000. Oh no, that'd be reasonable. 5,470 calories. Now, granted, take these with a grain of salt. I'm not doing some fats are healthy and some fats aren't healthy, and some carbs are okay, but some just general rules. Don't have a heart attack. Literally, if you eat like this, really, you should stop because you will have a heart attack. But don't have a shit fit because of the numbers here. So that would have been 3.5 days worth of calories. If I ate like I do now, it's closer to 5 or 6 days worth of calories that I ate within usually about 12 hours. Fat, 309 grams, which works out to about this much just fat. Just fill this up with fat and give me a spoon. That's what I was eating during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, and by the way, this was really when I was single and when my marriage was shit. So this is probably a minimum of my worst day. Like, if I really took it to be worst day, I would have gotten a couple of pieces of pizza, which I would have stopped maybe after work and gotten that, and picked up like a pint of ice cream. But a pint of ice cream, first of all, is very easy to visualize, and I don't need to break it down. And secondly, I already wasted a lot of money. Listen, if you're thinking about liking or subscribing, go ahead, because I spent like 40 bucks to make this video, and that to me is a lot of money. So, and I'm just gonna throw out all this fucking food. So, so yeah, drop that like or subscribe, because it helps me get the message out to more and more people. Sodium, almost 8,000 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot of sodium. That's a shit ton of sodium. That's 3.5 days worth of sodium. Carbs, 3.5 days, or no, 5.5 days worth of carbs. That's 337 grams of carbs. And yeah, fat was almost 6 days worth at 309. 77.25 teaspoons of just straight up fat. So why do this to myself, and why put you through a ridiculously long video? When we order food like this, when I ordered food like this, and I'm not going to assume I have any idea why you would order this much food. For me, it was just that it tasted good. If I had cared more, I wouldn't have ordered this much food. So I don't think it's some vast conspiracy to make chemical things happen in my brain that make me want Wendy's. It's a good burger. Why would I order this much food? It just tastes good. Why you ordered this much food, I don't know, and I wouldn't presume to know. And I'm certainly not judging anybody who eats this way, because I'd still be eating this way probably if I didn't have my fiance in my life, if I hadn't had the surgery, if I didn't have my daughter. Which, by the way, she's like right here. I don't know if I can fit her in here. Say hi, Wen. Hi, baby. Get out of here. I wanted to just break it down, because when we order food like this, we get it in a sandwich, right? Or we get it in a burrito, or whatever. And I don't think that I think the reason for that is that it makes it easy to eat in your car. I don't think it's some conspiracy with Wendy's and insurance companies and like, I don't think so. I just think it's easy. But you get one sandwich, so you go, oh shit, all I had was one sandwich. This full plate of food with the big pile of bacon on it is one sandwich. So having a sandwich, we tend to think, I just had one. No, you didn't. You ate this. And I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a big fat guy. I'm still a big fat guy. I don't know if when we order like this, we really think about what we're eating. I know I didn't. I knew that it wasn't good for me, but to think, when I ordered breakfast, that I ordered 3 English muffins, 3 eggs at least, like 5 pieces of cheese, bacon, sausage, and Canadian bacon, and a hash brown. That actually hit me after I got the surgery and had to think about what I was really eating. I try to imagine now if I'm ordering something, or if I'm planning a meal, I try to imagine having to order or buy the ingredients. So that's probably a decent way to think about this. So if I were to go to Wendy's right now and order everything separately, I have to say I'll take a bun, 2 burgers, 4 pieces of cheese, 4 pieces of bacon, and then another half a bun. But wait, there's more. Another burger, and another burger, another half a bun, and another half a bun. But wait, no, tell your cookie's working overtime. Then I will also take another half a bun, a burger, another couple pieces of bacon, and another half a bun. Anything to drink? No, because then you'd know this was all from me. That, to me, I mean, it's a lot of food. It's not, nobody's saying that's not a lot of food, but it's a half a plate of food. Broken apart, you saw it's like 3 plates full of food, and about a third of this thing. I don't know if that helps anybody. If it does, feel free to make a comment, man. I'm trying to make things that people haven't necessarily said already about the surgery, so I have to clean up all this shit. But if you have any questions or comments or anything, please leave them below. I'm going to throw all this shit out and pretend it never happened. Okay, thanks. Bye.